Welcome to Apple Classroom for iPad. In Part 3, Up for a Challenge, we will cover how to send assignments to students via AirDrop, receive assignments from student iPads inside the Apple Classroom, and also how to do some small functions within Apple Classroom, like mute students, hide their screen, and lock their screens. Let's go ahead and enter our Apple Classroom by launching the app now. Inside Apple Classroom, let's go ahead and open up our class, in this case, Biology, 5th period. You might notice that we have a different view of students here. We actually have small icons that represent their screen. This can be achieved by clicking the grid button at the top bar. Clicking this button will toggle between a view screen view as well as the icon view. To start for this challenge, I'd like to show you how to send files to student iPads. So let's go ahead and swipe up from the bottom of the screen to return back to the home screen. Back on the home screen, I want to go ahead and launch the Keynote app because the file that I want to send to students to work on is a Keynote presentation. Within Keynote, I am shown a list of all of the files that I currently have. I want to go ahead and send students the 1.2 assignment. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and choose the Select button in the upper right-hand corner. Similar to how we were selecting students in video 2 when we were creating a group, we are going to select the assignment that we wish to send, in this case, the 1.2 assignment. With the file selected, a bar now appears at the bottom that asks us what we'd like to do with that file. In this case, we want to go ahead and choose the Share button to share it with our students. The share screen pops up and asks us how we want to share this file. We want to go ahead and choose AirDrop. Within AirDrop, we now see all devices in proximity that we can send this file to. We also will see under the People heading our Apple Classroom as well as any groups that we have created in Apple Classroom, and we can send it to either of those groups. Keep in mind that when we send files to students in this way, they have to accept the file that's being sent. So make sure that you let students know that files are coming so that they know to accept them. Let's go ahead and choose Biology to send it to all students in our class. As previously mentioned, this is what students will see on their screen when you send a file to them. They will be notified that the teacher is sending them an assignment, and they can either accept or decline that assignment. Make sure students know to accept the assignment that is coming. After choosing Accept, the file will download on their device and it will automatically open. When students are completed with the assignment and are ready to turn it in, they can go ahead and select the 3 dots at the top right corner of the screen. From here, just like we used AirDrop to send it to the students, students will use AirDrop to return it back to the teacher. After selecting AirDrop, students will then need to choose the teacher of the class that they are sending the assignment back to. The only difference here is that after students have sent us files, we don't have to choose to accept or decline them. They will fall into a Dropbox for us within our Apple Classroom. We'll show you where that is momentarily. Back on our teacher device, let's go ahead and click Done. I'm going to go ahead and tidy up Keynote so when we open it up later, it doesn't still look the same. So we're going to go ahead and click off of that Share button. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit Done up in the upper right-hand corner to finish selecting the assignments to share. From here, we're going to go ahead and swipe up from the bottom of the screen, but instead of doing it fast, we're going to go ahead and hold it in the middle to open up all of the applications that are currently active on our iPad. Once we get this view, we're going to go ahead and release, and the apps are going to swing over to a grid view on our screen. As you can see in this case, I only have Keynote and Classroom open, so we're going to go ahead and select Classroom to launch the application. Back in Classroom, you will notice that there is now a highlighted file folder with a number 1 next to it at the top of our screen. This is where received assignments will be visible for teachers, and it will let us know how many assignments have been sent to us. If we go ahead and click on that button, we'll get a drop-down menu that shows us all of the assignments that have been airdropped to us. In this case, we can see that Student 1 shared a file 12 minutes ago, and it's a Keynote file based on the icon on that little white paper. To finish off Part 3 Up for a Challenge, I'd like to go through a few more of the student actions. So let's go ahead and launch the Actions toolbar for Student 2. First, I'd like to show you how AirPlay works. Go ahead and select AirPlay on the student's screen. This will show us a list of devices that we can AirPlay student to screen to. In this case, we're going to go ahead and select Commons. We'll then get a spinning wheel while the processor at work, and when the screen has been AirPlayed, we will get the awesome green checkmark that lets us know that the function has been successfully executed. If we want to redirect students' attention back to the front of the class, we can go ahead and choose the Hide button, which is the eyeball with a line through it. This will return students to their home screen, which lets them know that, hey, we want to get your attention. In the same way that we can redirect students by hiding their screens, we can also redirect students by locking their screens, by choosing the padlock button that is just to the right of the eyeball. In order to lock a student's screen, however, they have to approve that request by allowing it once, allowing it always, or choosing not to allow it. To unlock the student iPads, you would just click the same lock button again. And then the last action that I'd like to draw your attention to is mute. That's the speaker with the line through it, and that's just going to mute all iPads when pressed. This comes in handy if students are listening to a video or recording and it's a little too loud and becoming distracting to those around them. When you are done with your class for the day, you can go ahead and choose the 3 buttons in the upper right-hand corner. This menu allows you to invite new students, remove students, or end the class. Today, let's just go ahead and end the class. After a class has been ended, you get a class summary, which lets you know what apps students used during class, what items were shared via AirDrop, and then also what students were present in class for that day. If we click on an app that was used, for instance Keynote, we get a detailed view of how long each student was in that application. When we click on a specific student, in this case student 1, we are shown the apps that that specific student used throughout class and how long they were in each of those applications. And then lastly, for items that were shared, if we forgot to open an item during class, we can go ahead and open those now and save them to our device to review and grade at a later time. When we are done reviewing our class summary, we can just go ahead and click Done and return back to our class list. That's going to conclude part 3, Up for a Challenge, for the Apple Classroom for iPad Challenge. To receive credit for doing this challenge, please go ahead and take a screenshot of your class summary and upload it to the assignment in Google Classroom.